let's get into it. And we're back with another video. We're doing another review for the next generation. This one is for the PlayStation 5, a system that I have eagerly been waiting for. And at the time of this recording, I've already had the console for about 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm finally putting my review out, and you're probably wondering why I haven't done one sooner. It's actually because I've had a lot of problems with my computer. If you follow me on Twitter, which you probably should be, look, social media links are all right here. Follow me on each and every one of them. What we're talking about today is a PlayStation 5. And look, I would be holding it when I'm recording this, but I kind of set it up and then I don't want to pull anything out. It's a very huge console. I'm excited for this new generation. I'm excited for you guys to be able to get out and play it. Before we get into this video, do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button and like the video. That way YouTube knows that you actually enjoy my content. I've noticed that a lot of people come and watch a lot of my videos, they're not subbing. So the way for my content to get shared more and for you to have it more in your feed on YouTube, you gotta subscribe. So with that being said, we're gonna cover the unboxing, partially the setup, because I didn't feel like doing a fresh install of the PlayStation 5 OS, you know, like just factory resetting it. Didn't want to do that, but we're gonna do kind of a partial install, and then I'm gonna give you my one-to-one thoughts on the PlayStation 5 as I've used it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so we're gonna do a different style of unboxing in a sense because of how large this box is and how little desk space I have. So I'm MacGyvering how I'm gonna do this unboxing. So this is a PlayStation 5, guys. This is finally here. You know, we finally have it. So it has 8K capability. So they say, they claim. I'm not sure if that's 8K gaming or 8K, you know, videos, but we'll see. 4K 120 hertz, which unless you've got HDMI 2.1 capability on a monitor or TV, which for right now monitors don't have, you won't be able to use that, but you can do 1440 120 hertz, which I believe only TVs have that currently right now. Monitors, it's virtually non-existent in monitors. I think you've got HDR, so that's something PlayStation 4 also had. So right here, you can see it's a very beautiful box, very little damage on mine. I've seen a lot of people have had a lot of damage on their PlayStation 5s, but let's turn it on the side so we can see. There's gonna be some shaky cam just because of the nature of how big this box is. So I'm just going to flip it on the back so you can see the back, and there you go. So it's a play like never before. So this is a 1 terabyte hard drive, but they do designate on the back, which is something I've not seen anybody cover in a video. So 825 gigs. Realistically speaking, you have about 600 or so gigs that you can use. But it says play like never before. So this is the console. It's huge. This thing is massive. Lightning speed, so you can harness the power of a custom CPU and SSD with integrated IO that rewrite the rules of what a PlayStation console can do. I like that. Breathtaking immersion. Discover a deeper gaming experience with support for haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and 3D audio technology. Dope. Stunning games. Marvel at incredible graphics and experience new PlayStation 5 features. Play a backlog of supported PlayStation 4 games with system update. Very nice, very nice. And I think that's just about it. On the other side, it just says PlayStation. So we're gonna go ahead and get this up. It's got the PlayStation seal here, which is really nice. I want to know if I can just peel it, but if anything, I think I'm just gonna, you know, use the unboxing knife and then easy peasy, just like so. All right, so this, we're gonna go ahead and put this on the floor. I will say this right here feels very, very flimsy and can easily tear this box, this outer shelling. All right, here we go. This is the box. So go ahead and open this part. And then we're going to lay it back down. And okay. Just so y'all can see without shaky cam action going on. There's several components to this. One is this. Let's go ahead and put this on the ground. There we go. So this as you can see the PlayStation down by me, the PlayStation 5 over there, or 4. All right, so we got usual books. So quick start guide that actually has some color pages. Nice. Black and violet. We've got a new power cable, which is decidedly smaller than the PlayStation 4 Pro. I don't recall if the PlayStation 4 and Slim had this, but I think they did. But yeah, it's a smaller cable. And biodegradable, they're using biodegradable material here for the twist ties, which is pretty neat. Then we've got the DualSense 5 controller, which got 2. Actually, you know what? Shout out to ACG for saying that they feel different, because they do. The D-pads actually do feel different. ACG was right on the money with that. These two D-pads feel fundamentally different. So he was completely right about that. All right, let's get that out of the way. And then we've got the stand, which I'm not gonna lie, the stand feels cheap. You have a premium console and a cheap stand that's gonna hold it. All right, whatever. And then the HDMI, which I don't think this is 2.1. I think this is 2.0, but we'll test it and see. So that's all that. Let's put all the unnecessary stuff back in here. Stuff I'm not going to read, which, well, actually, you know, I'll keep that out. I'll move that. Let's get to the console. They're using a lot of environmentally friendly biodegradable materials. I don't think I've seen other companies do this. The Xbox definitely wasn't like this. And as you guys are all waiting for, here is the main event. The PlayStation 5. This thing is huge. Let's look at the I/O in the back. If I lay it down this way. Power input, HDMI, Ethernet, and your two USB inputs, which are 3.1, I believe. They could be 3.0. And you have a Kensington lock for your console, so if, you know, prevent theft. And on the front, you have another USB port, which looks like a 2.0, and you have a USB Type-C front. So you've got your disk drive here, which is dope. And this thing is already collecting fingerprints. So you can see there's ventilation here, so the fans are going to vent out, and then apparently these pop right off. But I don't have a desire to pop off the shell. That's it. So apparently if you just set it on its own, it wobbles. And it does wobble. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna connect this to this, and then it should be it. So apparently there are divots that are indicative of where to put it. Okay, this feels very flimsy, not gonna lie. This does not feel like, yeah, this is, it snaps in, but it's overall very flimsy. Now, let me talk about the aesthetics of the system. Okay. Xbox Series X felt premium. The stand, incredibly cheap. The shell, incredibly cheap. But and as I'm pivoting it, this came right off. But anyway, that's everything there. I believe I'm missing one thing. This is USB Type C for charging your controller. All right, so we unboxed it. Let's go ahead and set it up, power it on, and get some games on it. All right, so that wraps up the video for the PlayStation 5 unboxing overview. And basically at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into my personal thoughts on it, which is the review part of it, because again, reviews are just personal opinion. So the PlayStation 5, I really like this platform. It is the best PlayStation I've ever played, with the backwards compatibility with 99% of what's appeared on the PlayStation 4. I don't feel like I have to just, you know, give up everything I've downloaded and played on the last 7 years and go to a new platform, which ultimately at launch probably has anywhere from 6 to 7 games. I've got mine almost, well, technically for me, I've got my entire PlayStation 4 library, and I'm excited with that. It's the fact that so many games have been, you know, just improved for the sake of the PlayStation 5 experience. Like going back, playing games like Days Gone, playing the recent Genshin Impact, which ran at 30 frames per second locked and sometimes dipped below that on PlayStation 4, running at 60 frames per second in 4K on the PlayStation 5. A lot of games that were on the PlayStation 4 got a significant boost in performance, quality, graphics, and just visual, you know, just the overall frame rate fidelity. It really went like it's good on the Xbox Series X, which a lot of games you have to do a manual update to be optimized for the Series X. Whereas with the PlayStation, a lot of them you just pop it in and start playing it and it's immediate. There's no additional thing that you have to do. So I really like that about the PlayStation 5. It's really, it's a game changer. And I kind of wish that Microsoft would go and do something like that with the Series X, because not everything is fully optimized for Series X. Some games do have the updates, not everything, but I really like what they did here with that. Okay, so one of the other things I definitely want to hit on while we're here is ray tracing. Now, ray tracing basically allows you to have higher visual fidelity in certain aspects, right? So like if you're in case of like Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, or in the case of Spider-Man Miles Morales, where you see the reflection of your character in the water. If you go near like a building or you see a reflection, you'll see that character's reflection in it, accurately reflecting what's in the environment. Here's the thing. There's a trade-off for this, because utilizing ray tracing means that you're not going to be able to have the high frame rate. There is that give and take. Do you want to play the game with the ray tracing on at 30 frames per second at 4K HDR? Or do you want to play it at 1080p, high performance rate, super fluid, fast gameplay, but not all the visual fidelity? I hate that we're at this point where we have to choose one or the other, because as powerful as these consoles are touted, both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, you would think that they would have given you the ability to have both, where you don't have to choose. I'm playing on PC, and granted, the 20 series and 30 series cards, you really don't have to choose one or the other. I hate that you still have to. We're not, and this just shows that we're just not fully there yet. But more often than not, I pick the ray tracing modes just so I can see what it looks like. But I always go back to performance, because once you've gone to 60 frames, 120 frames higher, going back is quite difficult, to say the least. But anyway, that's ray tracing. It's a give and take. More of a take than a give. We'll see how that goes further titles down the line. Now, the other thing we need to cover is, let's talk about the user interface. The user interface is sleek. I like Xbox's UI. However, I have to admit that I often get lost at times in their UI, because there's The tile system is just something that I kind of feel like is a carryover from Windows Phone 7 and Windows 8 that it's just never been properly implemented in a way that I find satisfactory. So you're kind of stuck with that. And it's not entirely confusing, but for me, there are times when I do get lost shuffling about. With this, now there are some areas they can improve upon, but for everything you really need, there's media and games, your two top tabs. And I think either this corner or this, or whichever way, it's going to be in your top left corner where you've got those two tabs. If you go over to media, boom, all your video apps are right there. YouTube, Hulu, you know, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, like all that is right there in the media tab. If you go over to games, all your games are there. So you got your PlayStation 5 games and your recent PlayStation 4 games you played, which are right there. You know, you move over them and it's got the background. So like you go to Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, it's going to showcase Devil May Cry, like I think Nero in the background art. So you're going to see that, which is really dope. And you have a folder called My Games, or your game folder or game library. And you can just go through. And like I said, 99% of the games from PlayStation 4 carry over and are playable on the PlayStation 5, which the backwards compatibility, again, it's a game changer. I love it. I'm glad that Sony actually implemented it, because it seemed like Sony was not going to implement that in the PlayStation 5, which I'm glad they did, because if what they have at launch, I don't know about that one. The same can be said about Microsoft too. It's neither one really came with really major day one launches. I mean, you've got Spider-Man, which is great. It's a really good game, but it's ultimately short. Miles Morales is really short. It's a DLC basically for Spider-Man 2018, which is also a game you can get that as well, the remastered version, which that's a fully fleshed out game. I don't like that. I don't like the new model for Peter Parker, but with that being said, it's still a lot of gaming with that package if you get both. If you get Miles Morales, it looks great, but it's quite limited. You got Demon Souls, which is a remake of the amazing game from PlayStation 3, which I'm glad that came back. But as far as new IPs, I mean, you've got Godfall, which depending on who you talk to, is a hit or miss. I talked to my friend Power Love Amy. If you haven't checked her out, she's got phenomenal reviews. I'll leave a link for her down in the description below. She absolutely loved it. But when you go talk to other folks like GG Reloaded, many others, they just don't seem to care for it. I personally think it's a solid game. It's like a good mix of God of War and Diablo. It's very, you know, honestly, if we're gonna throw another thing in there, I'd say Warframe is very Warframe-like. There's a lot of grinding like Destiny, but it's fun, so I enjoyed it. And then you've got Sackboy, which is a great platformer. Astrobot, which is built in. Oh my god, that game is so freaking good. It is the best case scenario, like example to be used to explain the DualSense wireless controller. That game is effectively the how this controller works game, fully fleshed out, and is just insanely fun. I absolutely loved it. I think you guys get a kick out of it. There's so much to it. You would think, most people would think a lot of pack-in games are just throwaway titles, right? That is not a throwaway title. That game is freaking phenomenal. Go play it right now. Then you got, if you got PlayStation Plus, you got Bugsnax, which I haven't really gotten into it. I know my wife Lehua has been obsessed with it. Oh yeah, also if you haven't checked out her channel, she does phenomenal reviews. She's got a podcast called Podcasts Across Worlds. Go check that out as well. And she also streams on twitch.tv/LehuaSuperfina. Links for her stuff is going to be down below. There's going to be a couple shout outs in this video, so be prepared for that. But other than that, yeah, it's a lot of the games I do feel like there could have been more. You got Assassin's Creed Valhalla on both PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, as well as previous gen. But honestly speaking, man, like, I just feel like there could have been stronger launch titles for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Although I got to give the edge to the PlayStation 5 just because it came with a little bit more bangers. Now, longevity's sake, we'll see. We'll see what 2021, hopefully it's a better year than 2020, has to offer in store for the PlayStation 5. Now, going over to the store, basically everything is categorized. If things are tailored towards your interest, you've also got games categorized in PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, free to play, and the like. You've got the PlayStation Plus collection, which is amazing. A lot of games that were just defining a genre on the PlayStation 4, from like God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, Mortal Kombat 10. You've got Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Last Guardian. There's so many that you should just go and just add it to your library. Even if you're not going to play it, add it to your library, because you have games to play, which is something that I'm glad that Sony decided to do something like that, because those are amazing titles. God of War 2018, that game is freaking phenomenal, and it runs so much better on the PlayStation 5. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that, right? So use the UI, the user interface is just super clean. I absolutely love it. I think they did a fantastic job of it, and it's just smooth, it's clean. Another thing that I haven't really seen anyone mention, and I'm not sure why they haven't mentioned it, but when it comes to like downloading games on your PlayStation 5, they're friggin' quick. Okay, so to give you an example, I downloaded or re-downloaded Final Fantasy VII Remake. The game is about 70, 80 to maybe 100 gigs with all the patches and updates and everything, right? That game, and maybe it's because I've got the 1 gig internet, right? That literally took me no longer than like 7 minutes to fully download the entire game. I shit you not. I was shocked at how quickly that downloaded. Every game that I'm over here downloading, even Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition for PlayStation 5, the game literally downloaded in like 4 minutes. I think it's my internet speed, and I think I'm really just not used to it, because I'm so used to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One X, almost a Series X, but the One X, it just feels like their like the data transfer speed was just really handicapped. You weren't really getting the full, the full usage of whatever your internet speed was. So if I download a game on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One X, it literally took me half an hour. So it's a game like Final Fantasy VII Remake literally took me several hours to download, and I have a gig internet. Now you're probably gonna, give me crap for saying something like that, but it's absolutely true. That was my experience with it. That's my truth with it. And yet on the PlayStation 5, it's boom. Dirt 5, Codemaster sent me a review code for Dirt 5. That game is about 20, I want to say 26 to 30 something gigs, literally downloaded in 3 minutes. I am just shocked. I'm shocked at how quickly this thing just, man. And then let's talk about DualSense wireless controller. Absolutely love it. It's comfortable. Although I still say my favorite controller is the Xbox Series X controller, because I love the D-pad. But I like this. While this is my GOAT, this is the GOAT. This is still a great controller nonetheless. Very comfortable. I don't get cramps or fatigue from playing for too long. And literally, I have been playing games for this entire week and just nonstop. That's probably why you haven't seen much content from me or streams. But this controller, I absolutely love it. It's comfortable. Certain games, so like I'm playing Dirt 5, right? So if I'm pressing the R2 and I'm accelerating, I'm feeling like I'm pressing on a gas pedal. I've got that resistance in it, which is so freaking cool. Playing Astrobot and getting to the point where I can like shoot arrows from, or shoot darts and whatever from the little gun and bow and arrow he gets. You feel the tension of the bow, which is really great. And also One thing I will say, and I have to agree with my friend Carrick, ACG, when it comes to Spider-Man Miles Morales, I do feel like they kind of went a bit overboard with the vibrations. I think it could have mellowed out a hell of a lot more than what it was. It's just a bit much. But other than that, I'm blown away. I am completely blown away. And one other thing I'm going to mention, I always say one other thing. There's always more than one other thing, so don't mind me with that. I've noticed a feature that was on PlayStation 4 that is over here, and it's the ability to set your account up on another PlayStation 5 and basically download games and set it to where anyone who logs into that PlayStation with their account can play the games that you've purchased, and you can play them offline or play them at the same time as you. I really like that. Like, in the sense that it makes it so much easier for my wife and I. Like, if I get a review code for a game or she gets a review code for a game, we're both able to actually play it. Or if we just go out and decide, hey, we want to buy this game digitally, we can both play it and play it together, especially in multiplayer games like Godfall. We can play that together. So it's really something I'm glad that they put in there. So, you know, it's effectively the same as setting one to your primary, except in this case, it's set one to share your games and your games on the console to anyone who's logged in on whatever account. So it's cool. I absolutely love that. I do love the fact that a lot of games such as Dirt 5, No Man's Sky, and a few other games have this capability of being upgraded to the PlayStation 5 version. And I know you can do that with Call of Duty. There's some controversy around Call of Duty where you can do that as well, but it's a sense of the marketing is kind of confusing because you don't buy the specific one, you're not going to have the cross-gen version of the game. But yeah, it's awesome being able to share games, especially if you have, you know, your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, or siblings, and you both got a PlayStation 5 and you want to share your games without having to double dip. There you go. Now, if it's physical, I mean, you know, you got one disc, it kind of is what it is. I guess we can dive into the things I don't like. Now, I don't like the fact that there's no 1440p option. I know several reviewers have said that. I'm also going to say it because I've got this monitor from Dell that they sent over to me that's just really nice, that has 1440p, and I can do up to 165 hertz, and I cannot do that with PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 only has two different resolutions that I've noticed, maybe three if we count 720p, but we're just going to go with two, which is 1080p and 4K. Now, you have the capability of running 1080p at over 100 frames per second and 4K, which you can also do over 100 frames per second, and they also tout 8K. But we don't have 8K content right now for gaming, but yeah, I digress. It's, I guess, a feature proofing, or more so it's a buzzword, but you know, anyway, the thing for me with not having 1440p, which is a sweet spot between really smooth, fast, fluid, high fresh rate gameplay and gorgeous graphics. It's not 4K, but it's close enough to being 4K. It damn well might as well be 4K. You don't have that. Hopefully Sony patches that in with an update which allows it. Right now, no. Secondly, to get 4K at 120 frames per second, very few games actually support that. You would have to have an HDMI 2.1 cable, which would need to go into a monitor or TV which has HDMI 2.1 capability. There's a problem with that. HDMI 2.1 on a monitor right now is virtually non-existent. And if you're trying to use this with a capture card, such as, like, you know, AVerMedia's Live Gamer 4K or Elgato's, you know, 4K capture card, you're gonna have some issues with trying to get that high resolution and that high refresh rate, because they don't support 2.1 HDMI. They're both 2.0. So you're going to be capped at 4K 60 hertz if you're trying to capture content with it on your internal capture cards. And External capture cards don't even bother with trying to go with that, the high refresh rate. Now, 1080p, you'll have no issues going up to 120 hertz. 1080p, you're not gonna have any issues with that at all. Best example of that is actually going to be Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, because that game is buttery smooth. Good God, the game is smooth. I didn't think that game could be smoother or look better than it did on PlayStation 4, but it does. Now, other things I'm not happy with. I hate the PlayStation button location. I hate the location of it because it's not that far above the mute button. So if I were to press mute, I could easily press either one. They're too close to each other. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that the PlayStation button is what it is. Like, I was content with the circular one we had on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. So why they decided to do this, I have no earthly idea. For me, it doesn't work, but hey, somebody probably would like it. This is not my cup of tea. What else? What are some other negatives? I'm trying to think right now. What are some other negatives for the PlayStation 5? I've heard issues, and this is more speculation than anything else because I haven't personally experienced this, but I've heard that there are issues for other people with like playing Spider-Man or playing Godfall, where the game will reset your PlayStation 5 or even brick it. I haven't personally experienced that, so I can't say that that's fully true, but I know other content creators have spoken on it. Review Tech USA has talked about it. I know that my friend Carrick ACG, he had an issue with his initial PlayStation 4. His initial PlayStation 5 actually bricked and Sony replaced it. So those are issues I've heard. I've never experienced anything personally like that. So that's just, I guess that's a downside, but more of a downside taking into consideration that it's a possibility. Is it likely to happen to you? Probably not. So that's it as far as oh no, scratch that. I gotta talk about the PlayStation 5's build quality. Okay. This is going to be the part where I'm probably gonna piss off a lot of people. Now, the build quality between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 is night and day. The PlayStation 5, I love the platform, but look, this console feels cheap as fuck. The plates feel super flimsy. The balancing disc that goes underneath it kept falling off every time I put it on. It's not at all secure. I don't understand the reason that they went with that, other than maybe this is something that they intended for you to like stand up, but I'm not a happy camper with it. I really don't like it. It feels so flimsy. I was so scared so many times that I was going to actually break the controller. I was actually going to break the balancing disc and snap off the side plates. They feel cheap as fuck. The other thing is the black part that's in the center of it is a complete fingerprint magnet. Now, if you have OCD like I do, it gets on your damn nerves. If you don't, you're probably not going to be bothered with it. And also, I guess the fact that it's white, so it's easy to get dirty. So make sure you got like something to wipe down console and the controller because they get dirty easily. Oh yeah, another downside. Okay, since we're in the trend of it, the battery life. So about 5-6 hours battery life. This is longer. Sony, baby, what you doing? This is longer. Other than that, here's a silver lining, and this is for all the consoles that are out now, current gen. So Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Now, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this because I'm going to show you something. What do all these controllers have in common? They all have USB Type-C. So I've got one cable. And I know this is not anything revolutionary because we had micro USB. And then we had before that, was it USB Type A or USB Type B? But all the controllers have USB Type-C. So I literally have one cable to charge each and every device. I can just plug in like so. And go about my merry freaking day. Having one USB port is, oh my God, one cable to rule them all. I'm so happy with it. And I remember when USB Type-C came out and people were not happy with it, but I'm happy. Final downside. Well, not really final. I might find something else. Lack of an optical cable. And I understand because the cable it comes with delivers superior audio through and through. Here's the problem. I have a Go XLR. And I route all my audio through that. So this is the other issue with both next gen consoles. You have to go out and find an HDMI audio splitter or extractor, rather, audio extractor. Here's the problem with that. Many that you will find, even TC Helicon, the one that makes the Go XLR, they recommended this cheap one from Amazon. Problem with that one is Vox, who, if you haven't followed him, make sure you go follow him. The link for him is down below. He pointed out that the one that they were referring to it's 4K 30. So it's going to cut your performance rate from a visual standpoint in half. So you're going to need to shell out about $40 for the Astro Gaming HDMI adapter for their mix amp. The thing is, you're not using it for the mix amp. You can just buy it by itself so you can split the audio out so you can run it into your audio interface. If that's not an issue for you, if you're just going to play everything through, XSplit or OBS or whatever, fine. That to me is a really big problem. And I don't understand why both consoles cut out optical input. But that's the last. That's the last downside. So other than that, what are my overall thoughts on the PlayStation 5 and should you buy it? My overall thoughts are the PlayStation 5 is a phenomenal console. I really like it. I like it as equally much as I like the Xbox Series X. I think with the games that it's come with, from Spider-Man to Demon Souls, Godfall, and you got Assassin's Creed a couple days, well actually a day after launch, you've got Call of Duty. You got a variety of games. Even Dirt 5 came out the day prior and had a free upgrade to PlayStation 5 version. So you've got variety of games, racing, shooting, action, platforming. There's so much you can play out the gate. Now, and that's just like brand new titles. You have fresh experiences that out the gate you can dive into that you don't have on the Xbox Series X, which is what gives it a leg up over that. But overall, solid library. You got sports titles, so that's solid for people who like sports. I don't give a damn about sports, but if you like sports, that's dope. And solid controller, beautiful interface, super fast internet speeds. I mean, faster download speeds than the Xbox Series X. I don't know how, but I've experienced faster downloads. You don't get quick resume, but it didn't really bother me as much as I thought, because quick resume is nice, but am I really going to be jumping back and forth doing games like that? Probably not. All in all, it's solid. It's a go. It's a certified major go. You're looking at picking up a brand new console. you're trying to decide between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, I say get both. You can't get both. And if really that kind of comes down to the type of gamer. If you like Sony games like the last 2 generations, then just get the PlayStation 5. That's it. That's all you need to know. So it's a solid device through and through. It's too fucking huge and cheaply made. Well, not cheaply made. It feels cheap. And I don't know why it's as big as it is when the Xbox is more powerful and slimmer. Maybe they were going for like something expired. I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. But that's my thoughts on the PlayStation 5. What do you guys think? Is this something you guys are enjoying? Do you currently have a PlayStation 5? Or you one of the lucky few that were able to get it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you an Xbox fan? Do you have a preference for either or? Do you have both? Whatever your thoughts are, let's get the conversation going down in the comment section below, as well as in the Discord. Jump in the Discord, a bunch of amazing people from content creators, people in the gaming industry, tech industry, celebrities, and we all just have a great time. That being said, sub to the channel if you really enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but I'm finding my stride in doing longer reviews where I don't feel like I'm censoring or constricting myself, especially when it comes to hardware. I don't think you can hit all the key points in like a 10-minute, 5, 10, or 15-minute video. Maybe 30 minutes is excessive, but I just wanted to get all the points that I possibly could out. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a great one. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you stuck around. If you did, hey, I appreciate you. If you want to pick up the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, I'll leave Amazon affiliate links down below. If you were to pick it up, I do get a little bit of kickback, which helps out the channel, production, and everything overall. But other than that, I'm outie. Make sure you catch me on the Kasanova Podcast. Brand new episodes every single week on every major podcasting outlet. And also catch me on twitch.tv/MikhailKasanova. Brand new streams every single week. We got the next generation here. We've got the Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X, as well as Steam games. So we're going to be diving into those all on Twitch. So catch me over there. And if you really enjoy this style of work that I do and you want to support, we got channel memberships, we got Patreon, we got PayPal. So if you want to support, completely up to you. I appreciate any and everything that you guys do. And that's a wrap. I'm signing out. I got nothing else to say other than happy gaming. So deuces, wow, too sweet, be the elite. See you on the next one. Peace. So you made it to the end of the video, and I really want to say mahalo for making it to the end of the video. It means a lot to me that you've done so, and I hope that if you made it this far that you enjoyed the video. And if you did, I want you to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more content like this, we've got not only video game reviews, we got podcasts, we've got all kinds of content. Like there's a whole lot that I could dive into. But there's a whole lot here, and I really want to thank you guys for coming through and for sticking through to this part of the video. So again, thank you. Mahalo. Mahalo. Like, share, comment, and join our community. So that being said, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.